Now, there have been considerable criticism and heavy criticism for the sacking of the Supreme Court Justice Iftikhar Chowdhury. Why did you sack him, and do you now regret that, given the opposition and the demonstrations that have come out as a result of that sacking?
The word sacking is absolutely wrong. Within the Constitution, again, there is a process. If at all the Chief Justice, if there are any accusations against the Chief Justice or any other judge of the High Courts, of the High Bench, of the Supreme Court, there is a process called the Supreme Judicial Council. You can refer the case to the Supreme Judicial Council. That is exactly what has happened. He has not been sacked. He is the Chief Justice. But a reference was filed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan to me as the President of Pakistan. I am honor bound to take action on that reference. That reference had accusations against the Chief Justice of Pakistan. And I called him to confront him with those accusations. And I found that the accusations had weight. Therefore, I referred it in accordance with our Constitution to the Supreme Judicial Council.
All right, but he had substantial backing. All right, but he had substantial backing from the legal profession, from civil rights groups, from opposition parties within Pakistan. There were demonstrations on the street. The police came out and attacked GOTV. You yourself apologized for that. So you did crack down heavy-handedly to some extent on those demonstrators, didn't you?
On the demonstrators?
Yes.
No, I didn't. I didn't crack down because they were very few in numbers. If there are 4,000, 5,000 people demonstrating in Pakistan, this is not a large number.
But you apologized for the attack on
the Geo television station.
Yes.
Yes, because they were breaking their windows without rhyme or reason. Yes, that was terrible and it was very bad. And I suspended all the policemen who did that. This is not this cannot be tolerated. But however, when it comes to the case itself, people are protesting. Never has the protest of the lawyers have never been more than 400 or 500. Do you know how many lawyers there are in Rawalpindi and Islamabad? 4,000. Have they come out? In Lahore, they have protested 500-600. Do you know how many lawyers there are? 14,000. So we must understand the whole picture in correct perspective. There is turbulence, certainly, but I would say these lawyers must not take the law in their own hands. The process followed is very, very legal and very allowed.
You were quoted last year as saying that, and I read this quote, the day I come to know I'm not popular, I will quit, and they'll be out on the street and I would not be allowed to stay. But if we go back to those demonstrations over the past few weeks, we are seeing people come out on the streets. So are you going to quit?
Do you know how many there are? Again, the same question. If I gave a call in Islamabad, I will get 500,000 people in Islamabad. So 5,000 people is nothing. And there have never been more than that figure that these people have got. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Today there has been demonstration. Today there has been a demonstration, and the information that I've got, there were about 4,000 people of the legal and all the opposition parties combined. And the PML, the government party, had about 8,000 people.
But how worried are you, Mr. President, that those demonstrations will grow? Because it could be a few hundred one day, a couple of thousand the next, and a couple of 100,000 the next.
No, I don't think they have the potential of bringing 100,000 people at all, the political parties. They have politicized a legal issue. They got the lawyers out, and now they are getting their own workers out, but they don't have that kind of support at all. And I'm very sure and positive that they can never get that many people out.
Okay, critics are suggesting that it's only your alliance with George Bush and Tony Blair that is keeping you in office. We spoke about this earlier on. How do you respond to that?
A person who doesn't know Pakistan will say that. It is the people of Pakistan who are keeping me there. If you see the history of Pakistan, politics in Pakistan, there have been hundreds of thousands of people who came out in Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi. Then only it has impact on the leader. Nothing is happening in Pakistan. Do you know in Karachi, there was a demonstration against whatever is happening in Lahal Masjid and in my support. They are coalition partners, and there were about 200, 300,000 people. But it was just about 4 days back. Have you noticed that? Is anyone noticing that? They are my supporters. And as I said, in Lahore or Rawalpindi, I am telling them not to do it. Otherwise, we can call, I will make sure that there will be 500,000 people there. So what are we talking? We must understand Pakistan. Pakistan is not 4,000, 2,000 people.
All right, let's move on. Iraq. I want to ask you, Mr. President, do you think the much vaunted new American security plan is working? Has it failed? And do you think the Americans should leave, and when?
Well, I won't say give the final verdict it has failed, but I will say it is not working. They must work harder, and they have to change the environment. They must not leave till they bring stability there. That is my belief. Because if they leave, there will be destabilization in this whole region, within Iraq and also in the Gulf. It will affect the whole region.
What do you think about the ongoing sectarian violence between Sunni and Shia? Does it worry you? Does it concern you?
Yes, it's very dangerous. It is dangerous because it will have repercussions in the Middle East. It can have a fallout in the whole of Middle East, in the Gulf, can have fallout in Pakistan also.
You supported the Americans going into Afghanistan 6 years ago after 9/11. Would you now support military intervention into Iran if the Americans wanted to go that route?
Well, we are against it. Military action will result in further destabilization. So we must preempt. Both sides must understand that they will destabilize this whole region, which will not be in the benefit of either Iran or the Gulf or the Middle East or Pakistan.
Have you told the Americans that?
Yes, I have, certainly. We are against any military operation. But as I said, if we have to pacify, both sides have to step back from their present confrontational stand.
Both Tony Blair and George Bush will be out of office within 18 months. You say you're going to stand again for re-election. But do you think you'll be here when they're gone? Will you still ride that storm? Will you still be here?
If I'm elected by the assemblies, I will be there. 500% sure. United Kingdom or United States, countries don't follow policies on the whims of leaders. There are national interests involved, and national interests remain constant. Policies change with environments. If the environment is constant, policies never change, and national interests never change. So any leader can come to United States or UK. Their policies towards the environment of Afghanistan, Middle East, Gulf will remain constant.
Are you looking forward to those changes in the circles of political power in Washington and London?
Changes of?
Changing of leadership. Blair and Bush will be gone. Are you looking forward to that?
Well, no, I'm not, certainly not looking forward to it. Why? I like President Bush because I think he's a very straightforward and sincere person. He's an upfront, sincere man. He's an open man, nice to talk to, easy to talk to. So I'm not looking forward to a change. But obviously these are national issues, these are national politics and their own constitutions that they are following, and they have to change. There's no doubt.
If and when you do step down from political power, what do you think, Mr. President, your legacy will be? How do you want Pakistan and the world at large to remember you?
Remember me, I'm first concerned with Pakistan. They must remember me as a reformer. They must remember me as a developer of Pakistan, having saved Pakistan from the catastrophe of an economic disaster, carried out massive development in Pakistan all round in the socio-economic sector, introduced democracy, sustainable democracy in Pakistan. This is what I would like to be remembered by. Internationally, I would certainly like to be remembered by a leader who took Pakistan towards the path of a progressive, dynamic, modern Islamic state.
Do you think Pakistan has a role on the world stage?
Pakistan has certainly a role in the world stage because we are, number one, an important country of the Muslim world, and number two, our geostrategic location gives us tremendous amount of significance at the confluence of South Asia, Central Asia, Middle East and Gulf, and China.
Mr. President, thank you very much indeed for talking to Al Jazeera.
Thank you.